Guys, today I'm profiling my UA deck that I won my locals with. Starting off with a monster lineup, I run 3 UA midfielder. He's your only normal summonable UA that's level 4 or lower, so that's the only way you can use Stadium effectively. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. He has a pretty good effect that lets me kick a UA back to my hand to summon another one, so I can get multiple attacks off in the battle phase along with himself, and during my opponent's turn I can tag a UA back to my hand to summon something else. So I can like tag Perfect Ace back for like Blockbacker or something like that, or I can tag for Rebounder and then bring the same thing back so I can get 2 Ace negations. So he's pretty important in the deck. Moving on, the next UA monster is 2 UA Mighty Slugger. He's your Armades of the deck. 2300 attack. He's pretty good in that aspect. With Stadium, he goes up to 28, and then Jersey brings him to 38. So he gets to attack twice, does double damage, and they can't activate anything, because I heard that was fun or something. The next UA monster is 2 UA Perfect Ace. He's your effect negation of the deck, and he's the main reason you don't have to run back row. I like him at 2. I'm thinking about bumping him up to 3, but I don't like relying on him because I have to discard things a lot that I don't want to, even though I've tried to add more things for him to discard, like Glow Up Bulb, and then also along with the obvious 3 penalty box. So, yeah. The next UA monster is 2 UA Rival Rebounder. I don't like 3-bounder because I feel like it clogs up. I might try messing around with 3 at some point, but this is what worked for me. So I can tribute a UA monster, bring back the same one, something else from my hand, or if Stadium's on field and I have one in hand, I can tribute summon for him, get Stadium's effect, and then use his effect resolve to summon what I just searched out, so that's pretty good. 2 UA Dreadnought Dunker. He's basically how you win with this deck when he's equipped with Jersey, because he does piercing, double damage, and then the obvious gets to attack twice. When he inflicts damage, you get to pop a card. So, it's pretty good. And then for the one-of UAs, I run 1 Goalkeeper and 1 Blockbacker. Goalkeeper is how you can stall with this deck. He can protect himself. Others, just whatever they're attacking, you just move to block. And then this is basically your lose a turn of the deck. Got a good amount of defense. I can use his effect multiple times off of Rebounder. So, I mean, I don't like running multiples of either of these because they're not meant to be used like that. For the non-UA monster lineup, I run 3 Heroic Challenger Assault Halberd. He floats, does piercing, he gains attack off a Stadium. I have a tribute option if I need it. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's fun. Then I run 2 Summoner Monk. This is basically my 3rd and 4th midfielder because this deck runs so many spells and I need to get midfielder out as soon as possible. Although I haven't really been using him much, like I don't see him much when I draw cards for some reason. But it's the principle. Then the 1 Glow Up Bulb. I can pitch this off of Ace to negate something, and then with any of the level 4 Earths I can make Naturia Beast, which is pretty good in itself, especially in like the Necros matchup. They're going to have a hard time coming back from that. And moving on to spells, I run 3 UA Stadium. This is pretty obvious. It's your main searcher of the deck, and they gain 500 attack whenever they're special summoned, a UA. So, yeah, it's probably the most important card in the deck. I run 3 Signing Deal. This card needs to be run at 3, even though its effects are negated. You can just tag to summon and then tag to summon again, but losing 300 life points times level, I mean, that's kind of bad, especially since Cosmo, they only lose 100 whenever they're adding stuff back, which is kind of BS, but you know, not all decks are created equally. Yeah, it's pretty good. It also lets me establish first turn board with like 1 Ace, 1 Blockbacker, 1 Ace, 1 Goalkeeper, etc. 2 Powered Jersey. Causes UA monsters to gain 1,000 attack, do double damage, and if they destroy something, if they succeed in destroying something, get to attack again. It's arguably the most broken equip spell in Yu-Gi-Oh! Based on terms of attack power. Then triple Rhoda. There's 6 targets for this in this deck. I like running Rhoda at 3 now more than ever because of the Assault Halberd. Like, if it was just 3 midfielder, I wouldn't like running 3, because if you have it in hand and then you have this, you've already run out of potential targets for it, so it's not as good at that point. 2 Terraforming, just to get Stadium to hand faster, because it's so important. 2 MST, so to deal with the cards that, since Ace only works on your opponent's turn, and Slugger can still be, like, Fiendish Chained before, and things can happen to him before he attacks. This is just to deal with that. 2 Stormforth. This card helps with brick hands when I don't have midfielder, and this comboed with Rebounder is, like, amazing, because I get so many effects, and they go -1 off of it, and it's great. 1 Raigeki, pretty obvious, open the field up for OTKs. And then only run 3 traps, which are obvious. The 3 penalty box lets me search out spells, and yeah, and then it has an effect on field that banishes until their second end phase, which is great because then I get to play with their monster next turn, and they don't really get to use it for anything. Moving on to the extra deck, I only run 2 cards right now because, like, well, for one, the UAs don't need an extra deck, and I couldn't, like, get that much other extra deck together, so there's the Naturia Beast for Glow Up Bulb, and then Castel. Castel's just good for returning stuff to the deck that you can't deal with, and that's basically it. That's it for the UA deck profile. Thanks for watching.